My name is Hunter Zolomon. Despite what the public believes, I am the fastest man alive. I am Zoom. But I am not a rogue. Far from it. I have taken the name and colors from Eobard Thawne, the time traveler known as Professor Zoom, in order to terrorize my friend, Wally West, the Flash. I suffered through tragedy. I lost my family to it. I understand the depths it will drag one down to, and only by surviving it does one become stronger. I will recreate myself to help my friend and, in turn, the world. I will do anything to make the Flash a better hero. Hunter Zolomon started his life as the son of a serial killer. Before heading off to college, he discovered his father's extracurricular activities following a shootout with the police and the loss of Hunter's mother. From there, Zolomon swore to dedicate himself to understanding the criminal mind. Eventually, he joins the FBI. Hunter Zolomon made his first appearance in Flash Secret Files issue 3, where we see him arriving in Keystone City. Hunter sets himself up as the expert on rogue psychology, promising to figure out and stop the city's bad guys. The Flash and Zolomon become close friends, and Hunter's knowledge helps Wally in catching criminals and cracking cases, but one thing Hunter resented is him being stuck behind the desk due to his bad knee, eventually leading to Hunter getting too involved and ends up in trouble with Gorilla Grodd, who breaks his back, leaving him unable to walk. Hunter begs the Flash to go back in time and stop Grodd, but the Flash says it's too risky. Angry, Zolomon tries to use the time machine himself, blowing it up and himself. Instead of dying though, the explosion gives Zolomon power to alter his personal time frame and slow down time, giving it the effect of super speed, and the power to control his own timeline, making him the fastest man alive. And here he gets the ideology that in order for Wally to become stronger, he must face the ultimate tragedy. And Zoom was born. When Zoom shows up, he's like a ghost because he moves so fast nobody can see him properly. He talks super fast too, and his speech is impossible to understand, like a skipping record. Zoom does things with his speed that nobody even thought of before, like snapping his fingers really quick to make a loud boom. In Wally's first showdown with Zoom, he needs help from other heroes to match Zolomon's speed. But before that, Zoom hurts Linda West, Wally's wife, causing her to lose their unborn twins. Wally finally beats Zoom by trapping him in a time rift, leaving him frozen and powerless. Zolomon's former wife, Ashley Zolomon, took over his role as a profiler and made numerous efforts to reach out to him. However, she was hospitalized for a while after a car accident. During this time, Zoom emerged from his coma, showing concern for Ashley. Despite this, he decided to stay in his cell, exercising caution. Zoom broke free from his self-imposed isolation with the help of Cheetah, hoping to exploit his super speed abilities and recruit him into the secret society of supervillains. Although there was a brief fling between them, Zoom remained committed to his marriage with Ashley and nothing serious developed between him and Cheetah. During the Rogue War, Zoom intervened in the conflict between Captain Cold's rogues, the Trickster's reformed rogues, and the Top's brainwashed rogues. After swiftly ensuring Ashley's safety, he joined the fray, criticizing Captain Cold for his outdated villainous methods. Zoom's involvement didn't stop there. As the battle intensified and the Flash and Kid Flash, Bart Allen, tried to intervene, Zoom targeted Kid Flash, threatening to harm him in a manner reminiscent of Barry Allen's actions against Eobard Thawne. Before Zoom could carry out his threat, however, Professor Zoom arrived on a cosmic treadmill with Jay Garrick held captive. A fierce battle unfolded between the two Flashes, Kid Flash and the two Zooms, culminating in the Zooms achieving their goal. They seized the Flash and dragged him onto the treadmill. Zoom then compelled the Flash to relive their initial confrontation, where Linda suffered severe injuries and miscarried. Zoom believed that Wally West needed to confront the grief and loss from this ordeal, instructing Professor Zoom to rewind the scene for another viewing. However, just as the scene began to rewind, Wally's uncle and mentor Barry Allen appeared on his own cosmic treadmill, declaring his search for Professor Zoom. Barry swiftly removed Wally from immediate danger, encouraging him to realize that victory was within reach if he pushed himself further. Barry and Thawne vanished through time, leaving Zoom furious. Zoom then raced around the world, intent on killing Linda with his amassed speed. Wally pursued, realizing the significance of Barry's advice at the last moment. With a final burst of speed, he collided with Zoom, causing him to plummet forward into the very sonic boom he had once used to harm Linda's unborn children. This collision created a rupture in time, miraculously restoring Linda's pregnancy just in time for her to give birth. Zoom, confronted with the consequences of his actions, briefly acknowledged his mistreatment of Wally before slipping into the time stream. He later appeared as a ghostly figure, offering apologies to his wife. Zoom made a comeback during the Infinite Crisis event, assuming the role of the Secret Society of Supervillains' primary speedster. However, following his recent revelation, a significant chapter in his character's journey has come to a close. Zoom later found himself involved in various confrontations and events. He was encountered during the sacking of Rome, where Bart Allen's grandmother sought his assistance in protecting Bart from an impending tragedy orchestrated by the villain Inertia. Whether Zoom intentionally traveled to this time period or became stranded there following his last encounter with Wally West remains unclear. Additionally, Zoom became the target of the Justice League as they sought to locate Sinestro after Batman and Green Lantern learned of the existence of the Sinestro Corps. In another encounter, the Justice Society of America pursued Zoom into Atlanta. During a confrontation with Damage, Zoom was momentarily subdued by Liberty Bell after she intervened to prevent Damage's death. However, disappointed by Damage's lack of change, Zoom attempted to kill him, only to be knocked unconscious by Liberty Bell's quick reflexes. Subsequently, Hunter became a member of Libra's secret society of supervillains, further entangling himself in the world of villainy. In Final Crisis, Rogue's Revenge, Zoom took action to free Inertia from the paralysis inflicted on him by Wally West. Zoom saw potential in Inertia and aimed to mold him into a new Kid Flash, teaching him to improve lives by causing significant tragedies. However, Inertia took Zoom's teachings to heart and proclaimed himself Kid Zoom, asserting mastery over tragedies and seizing control of both the Flash's rogues and Zoom himself. Utilizing the time stream manipulation powers granted by Zoom, Inertia turned against his former master, reverting Zoom's body to its crippled state as Hunter Zolomon, effectively stripping him of his powers and authority. And that brings us to DC Reboot and Hunter's first appearance, the New 52 universe. At one point, Eobard Thawne broke Hunter out of prison and brought him to the 25th century to team up against the Flashes. Because Hunter was in the 25th century during Flashpoint, the changes to the timeline didn't affect him. He stayed the same age and remembered everything from before, even though he was now in the post-Flashpoint world. While in the 25th century, Hunter and Thawne took over the Temporal Courts, a group focused on tracking changes in time. Using advanced tech, Thawne helped Hunter walk again. However, a falling out led Thawne to flee back to the 21st century, leaving Hunter behind. From there, Hunter witnessed Thawne's repeated deaths, feeling remorse for not joining him. Hunter eventually concluded that Thawne was right all along and that the Flashes didn't deserve redemption. This anger reignited his powers and he regained his Zoom suit. Deciding to act, Hunter sent the Renegades to the 21st century to capture Iris West for Eobard Thawne's murder. In the ensuing clash with Barry Allen and the two Wally Wests, Wally experienced a temporal seizure. The Renegades offered to care for Wally in exchange for Iris's cooperation, to which she agreed. However, Barry and Wallace followed them to the 25th century. Manipulating the group's energy signatures, Hunter separated Wally from the others. He then revealed to Wally that forgotten speedsters were trapped in the Speed Force and claimed that destroying it was the only way to save them. Hunter proceeded to deceive Wally, pretending to have lost his powers and claiming he wanted to help Wally save his lost children, Irie and Jai West. Despite Barry Allen and Commander Cold's suspicions, Wally protected Hunter and worked with him to try and break the Speed Force, with Barry following closely. However, Hunter vanished suddenly, leaving behind a bright flash of light that engulfed everything. As the two Flashes entered the Speed Force, they discovered Hunter's true plan: to have them destroy the Force Wall, which held back various energies. Reappearing, Hunter incapacitated the Justice League and revealed that he knew the true location of the missing speedsters. He declared his intention to become the new Flash and protect the world, wearing Barry Allen's original Flash suit and demonstrating newfound abilities from the Sage Force and Strength Force. Hunter resurfaced in Central City, intent on obtaining the Still Force from Steadfast, one of the new Force conduits. After acquiring the Still Force, he revealed to Barry that combining all the forces created a new force called the Forever Force, granting him sight over all of time and space. Barry pursued him with the Black Flash in close pursuit, aiming to cleanse the other forces from the Speed Force. Hunter declared his mission to kill the Black Flash, believing it was his destiny to vanquish death itself after enduring countless tragedies. However, Barry confronted Hunter with a memory fragment from the Forever Force, revealing Thawne's involvement in Ashley's father's murder. Overwhelmed by this revelation, Hunter began to slow down. Barry reminded Hunter that they broke the Force barrier together and must now work to repair it to uncover Thawne's role. Despite Barry's pleas, Hunter, filled with remorse for the suffering he caused Wally and others, resolved to sacrifice himself to mend the barrier and make amends. Reflecting on the inevitable sacrifices of being a Flash, Hunter bid farewell, knowing he could have wished for a different outcome. Nonetheless, his selfless act succeeded, banishing the Black Flash to the Forever Force alongside him. When Hunter sacrificed himself to mend the Force barrier, he found himself imprisoned in a Speed Force realm engulfed in red lightning. Here, he was subjected to relive his darkest memories and the entirety of his timeline up to that moment. Although he possessed the ability to escape at any time, as his powers weren't dependent on the Speed Force, he chose instead to utilize his time for meditation, seeking clarity and absorbing energy. After his eventual escape, Hunter emerged with his personal growth erased, refocusing his mission to mold Wally West into the ultimate hero. And that brings us to the end of this video. As always, if you enjoyed, smash that subscribe button.